Okay, so I'm back, and as promised, I'm going to give you a little synopsis and a lead-in to a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. Everything I do on this channel is going to be related to psycho-cybernetics. I won't necessarily call it psycho-cybernetics all the time because to a lot of people the term psycho-cybernetics just psycho-cybernetics is not only hard to say, but is also a bit freaky for some people who see the word psycho and literally psych out. Psycho-cybernetics, the phrase, it was coined by the author of the book, Dr. Maxwell Maltz, who was a plastic surgeon. Now, you might wonder why a plastic surgeon would be doing something on psychology. It's not uncommon for people to come up with brilliant concepts who are not necessarily in that particular field. It's just one of those things that happen occasionally. And how it happened with him was that he would take people or see people who had incredible disfigurations, and he would perform plastic surgery and would put them back to their normal state. Let's say they had a serious facial disfigurement or whatever. And in many cases, they were better than they were in the original. So, in most cases, they responded accordingly. They may have a very low self-esteem, may feel not able to go out in public, and he would literally fix them. But he found that in some cases, he would repair the damage, but they would still feel inadequate, inferior. They would still feel as though they did before. They would look in the mirror and say, "Yes, I can see what you've done, but people will still laugh at me." It's why people with, say, anorexia will look in a mirror and will literally see themselves as being fat. Speaking of mirrors, the concept of psycho-cybernetics is, or self-image as I'll now start to refer to it as, self-image is, imagine if you went to a fun fair and you saw yourself in one of those funny mirrors, the mirrors that make you look fat and squat. Now, some of us are fat and squat, but let's say you weren't. And that was the only mirror you've ever seen in your entire life. So you looked in this mirror, which was one of those funny gimmicky mirrors that made you look fat and squat, and you saw yourself like that, and you thought that's the way you were. And that's how psycho-cybernetics, self-image, is what that's all about. It's what we believe we are like, what we believe we are able to achieve, what we believe about ourselves, basically. Now, where did that come from? It's not based on reality. I mean, in some cases it is, to some extent, but it's normally based on our formative years between the age of 1 and 10. And in those years, we are told who we are by authority figures. Now ask yourself, while you're watching this, who are the authority figures? Who were the authority figures in your life and perhaps still are? And they tend to be teachers, parents, kids at school, aunties, uncles, ministers, preachers, whatever. People who, I like to say, we give our PIN number to. In other words, we let them make deposits and withdrawals from our self-esteem account. So we are told as we grow up who we are. We are told we are clumsy. We are told who we are, basically, by people who we think know what they're talking about. An example I love is the first one that I came across on self-image, and that is the little boy at school who is being taught multiplication or maths. And he's not listening. He's just not paying attention. Full stop. So when the test comes around, he fails, and the teacher, instead of saying, well, look, you do have the ability, you just weren't paying attention, the teacher labels him or her as not being good at maths, never being good at maths. You will not be good at maths. And the child grows up, and as an adult, will not apply for jobs that have any maths involved, will not get involved in anything that is mathematical because they will say, I am no good at maths. So I want you to think about the things that you're not good at. And I want you to think about those areas of your life that you will not try out for, that you will not even see yourself as being part of because of your self-image. the little picture of yourself, and there's a picture on my back wall of my granddaughter Lucy. Imagine that is the picture that you have established for yourself. And that picture is such that you are not able to break out. Whatever that picture is you have of yourself, it may be that you're great at sports, it may be that you're no good at sports, it may be that you're great at this, great at that, no good at this, no good at that. It may well be your picture is that you're no good at anything. It may well be that your picture is that you're a total failure, because that's what you have been led to believe. And we're going to talk about belief systems in our next get together. So thank you. I'll see you section 2.